The following footage includes massive dunks on the Wheel of Time TV show by the author of the books, Brandon Sanderson Incorporated.
I really do like the whole team working on Wheel of Time. I think they've done some great things.
Wait, it gets better.
I think they've done some great things. But one of my big fights with the showrunner has been, he's like, well, this is how we do it in television. I'm like, but this is how we do it in long-form storytelling, right? What you're making should be more like the long-form storytelling rather than the episodic television that is his background. That's what he knows how to make. I think this is my big problem is this idea.
Yeah.
I want them to write an entire season, and I want them to workshop that entire season, and I want them to get those scripts good and then film that. And I don't see that happening a ton. I see them sitting down and coming up with a concept for the season, sending someone to start writing, someone else to start writing, you to start writing, yours gets done. You tell them, we need you to finish your scenes that are taking place in the same place as this one because we got to have our film date next month. So they go film those 3 scenes from those 3 episodes written by 3 different people, workshopped a little bit, but then you get it back. The scripts are never done by the time they start filming. That's not how Hollywood television works. And that really bothers me because I can see it in their storytelling.
And, where are they now?
I'll be right there. Another letter from Mistresses Almira and Alvia.
Just act like nothing ever happened?
No explanation?
We got better.
I wasn't super paying attention to what you just said that we'll be doing, but I will give 110%.
This is my big problem. The scripts are never done by the time they start filming. And that really bothers me because I can see it in their storytelling.
3 fates hunting a single Aes Sedai. The eye of the Dark One is upon you, sister. Did you not think we would ask why?
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
It's time to answer that fascinating question. What is the Sesame Street number of the day? That's 1. 1 bat. 2. 2 bats. 3. 3 fabulous flyers. 1, 2, 3, 4. The number of the day is 4.
3 fates hunting a single Aes Sedai.
Dany kind of forgot about the Iron Fleet and Euron's forces.
She forgot.
The scripts are never done by the time they start filming. I can see it in their storytelling.
What could do this to a fade?
You'll notice in that last episode.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together. The number of the day is 4.
I can see it in their storytelling.
Certainly won't bloody well catch him if that goat-licking bastard refuses to ride a horse.
He's kept us on Fane's trail.
And it's been going on for months and months.
5 months now in this tower, and you haven't channeled.
He's kept us on Fane's trail.
What a joke. How did this happen? How did it start?
They learned the wrong lesson. What people were waiting for in Lord of the Rings as a seed film was to see the great epic fantasies for a more mature audience. It doesn't have to be Game of Thrones, but Game of Thrones is the only one that really managed to land in that patch other than Pirates of the Caribbean. And the problem is all the YA properties, they were misfiring a little bit. They weren't hitting that older demographic that wanted to see Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
The Golden Compass is an amazing book, but the film is a bit of a disaster.
It's an abomination.
The film should have worked. The casting is excellent. They tried really hard to stay true to the lore and the narrative of the book. The visuals were stunning, and the movie was boring. It's just one of those things where translating the book to a film, staying true to it, didn't work for whatever reason. For a while, I'm like, well, you must not be able to translate a book straight to a film and have it work. But Dune, it's as close as Golden Compass is, and it's great. It's really watchable. So obviously you can do it. You could take it and go 1-to-1 essentially and make a great film.
Well, what's the trick then?
Tell me your secrets.
I think it's at least partially the script, because when I was watching Golden Compass and analyzing it, having read the book, there's just a lot of people standing around giving you information. Scenes that are dynamic in the book, they didn't have time for. It almost always takes more time to show than to tell. And so rather than cut the scene, they trimmed it and had people explain what happened.
And then got the information across that way.
Yeah.
And for all of the massive liberties that the Lord of the Rings movies take, while trimming down the long stuff and cutting out things they couldn't include, they were also adding drama.
Like they would cut 5 big chunks in. This might be easier with Tolkien because some of those chunks can be kind of long. And then you can take those and construct a scene that does the legwork of some of those scenes.
Share the load.
Get away!
I always point out one of my favorite changes is the scene where Sam gets sent away by Frodo and comes back. People hated this change.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite because not having read 3 books worth of material of those traveling together, it's hard for you to get the same sense of Sam's loyalty. And so you construct a scene that some people think is against and counter to the personalities of the characters, that Frodo would send Sam away and Sam would go. But this scene by him returning and saving Frodo the way he does, that whole thing works so well to prove Sam's loyalty is his superpower that it replaces chapters and chapters and chapters in the books. And you could have instead replaced that with a conversation where Sam is like, Mr. Frodo, you know that I'm the most loyal person that ever, and you're a member of this time.
I will never leave you.
Yeah.
This is how we do it.
It's just a brilliant example of how to take what is in a book and make something new that works on the screen to convey the same information, and it's so powerful. That's part of the problem with Golden Compass, is it just didn't have those things, which is a real shame, because again, the visual design and the casting, and you can tell the people making this film read and enjoyed the book and were trying hard.
That's what really matters.
We've all done something where we sit down to write something and it doesn't work, and I can see that happening on the screen, and my heart goes out to them.
Hey, sorry that took forever.
Now it's time for the good stuff.
There are some times when people make something and it seems so opposite to the concept of the original that my heart does not go out to them, shall we say.
Who could that be, I wonder?
My heart does not go out to them, shall we say. I don't know. I haven't been able to bring myself to watch. Well, Rings of Power. I wouldn't say that on Rings of Power.
It's not an opposite thing, but yeah.
I would say that on something like Halo.
Well, that took a while.
It's all in the document. The non-disclosure, non-disparagement clause.
They clearly had very little, if any, love for the source material, for the vibe that the games give. And we're trying to tell a completely different story with the one license they had access to.
Exactly.
That's a bingo.
And not to say, some people might enjoy that story. It might be well told in its way, but
it's not Halo.
But
Transported without incident, Kirk out. The next day.
If what we see now is the rise of the miniseries,
I would love that. So here's the problem, though. They're going to have to stop writing those like network television shows.
I know where this is going.
This is the problem with Rings of Power.
Don't you dare.
This is the problem, as much as I like it, with Ted Lasso. This is the problem with Wheel of Time, to an extent.
I just couldn't help myself.
This idea of we aren't embracing the new form. We are trying to write a network show that just has 12 episodes. And so the interconnected tissue, the long form character arcs, it doesn't feel like a 12-hour movie. It feels like 12 episodes with all the foibles of a 24-episode season, just shorter.
Just compressed.
You done up now!
I didn't disparage. There was no disparage.
You did disparage.
No, I did disparage.
I really do like the whole team working on Wheel of Time. I think they've done some great things. But one of my big fights with the showrunner has been, he's like, well, this is how we do it in television. I'm like, but this is how we do it in long-form storytelling, right? This is my big problem. The scripts are never done by the time they start filming. And that really bothers me because I can see it in their storytelling.
That one got out by mistake.
Say what you will of a long-form book series like The Wheel of Time or something. If you pick up one of those books, Robert Jordan had a chance to revise that whole book and create
make it exactly what he wanted it to be
for you, rather than, even if some of the stuff he came up with off the cuff while I was working on it, he got a chance to integrate that all. And because you usually don't start filming your film until your script's done. I know it happens sometimes.
That's all, folks.
The scripts are never done by the time they start filming. I can see it in their storytelling.
I don't know if you guys know this, but like they do like, these sort of like statistics on different fandoms for big projects like this. And the Wheel of Time fandom is statistically the best fandom.
We have proof, scientific proof.
Where's your proof? Where's the evidence?
Just because you keep saying it doesn't make it so.
For our show, I know there's the crazies, but like it's something like 70% of people who've read all 14 books think the show is as good or better than the books, which is a crazy number.
Where'd you pull that crazy number?
Well, I made it up.
It's something like 70% of people who've read all 14 books. It's not a lot of the online community necessarily who interact with it, but like of the wider world of people who, love Wheel of Time.
Oh yeah, trust us, 70% of book readers like the show, as long as you don't include any of the people who don't like the show in the statistic. Like you.
70% of people who've read all 14 books think the show is as good or better than the books.
I can see it in their storytelling.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining, so please consider joining.